Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here with my beloved Samsung Galaxy Z Flip, which if you've seen any of my videos, you know how much I love this phone. Well, today is a day that will go down in phone infamy. It finally has an issue, and that is something to do with the screen. Actually, it's beneath the screen. So the problem that I'm having here is that it seems to be that there is some sort of separation underneath the actual screen, not the screen itself. So whenever you slide your finger across the phone, you can probably hear that on the microphone. It's got these little cracky poppy sounds that it makes. So yes, I had to engage with the Samsung Concierge service for the Z Fold, the Z Flip service, and I'm going to talk somewhat about what's going on with the phone and also about the process to get it fixed if you happen to be in the same boat and something happens to you one day. But before we get into all the flipping conversation about the Z Flip, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the Z Flip. So today was just any other normal Tuesday, and I've been using the Z Flip 5G as my primary phone, again, for the last week or two here. And like I said, if you've seen my videos before, you know how much I love the Z Flip. Ever since it came out and I saw it, I was like, I gotta get it. Well, I've had this one, I bought it brand new the day it came out. Like, today is like 8 months to the day. This came out, I believe, August the 6th. Today is April the 6th. So, yeah, exactly 8 months. Now, when you talk about the Z Flip 5G, it does have the one-time screen replacement that you can pay $150 for within the first year. Well, the screen is immaculate. And I was playing around with my phone and using it, and I'm like, why is it making this popping sound? Like, this is not right. I mean, you can probably hear that on the microphone. It's very, very, very irritating. And it's only over here on this side. It's right at the crease there. So as you slide your finger up and down over it, it makes that little popping noise. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and take this in. Like, I don't have a single scratch on my screen. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to talk to me about the whole screen replacement because I didn't do anything to the phone. Well, I went onto the Samsung Concierge website. I set up an appointment. It was really easy. I didn't have any problems with that at all. I got my appointment set up for today. I mean, I did this at like lunchtime, and they had an appointment slot for like 1 o'clock, which I couldn't do that. I had work. So I did the 5 to 7 o'clock window. Well, Samsung typically will let you go to the Samsung Experience store, but the only one in Houston, at least that I know of, is at the Galleria. That's like a 45-minute drive for me. I wasn't going to do that. So they actually have Samsung-approved repair spots with UBREAKIFIX. So they had one available for 5 to 7. I went ahead and selected that. I went over there. And I was a little irritated when I got there because I walk in, I show the guy what the problem is, and he's like, well, that's going to be $150 to replace the screen. I'm like, look, I didn't damage the screen. This is an under-the-screen issue. Like, here, look at my phone. It is mint. It is immaculate. Like, I have taken pristine care of this, and I just took the screen protector off like a month or so ago. So this is, no, that ain't it, Chief. So he's like, well, I have to replace the screen to get to this because it's one assembly. I'm like, well, that's not my problem. Like, this, I believe, is a manufacturer defect issue. This is like some sort of separation behind the screen. So I don't feel like I should have to pay to replace the screen under my screen replacement warranty when there's nothing wrong with the top surface layer of the screen. Like, clearly there's not a single scratch on it. He's like, well, maybe you should call Samsung then because like this is what I have to do. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. And then he tells me, he's like, honestly, dudes, like, if I were you, I wouldn't replace this. Like, the screen, it works fine. Like, you touch the screen, the sensitivity, the accuracy, like, there's no visible defect on it. So just keep using it. I'm like, look, dude, every time I swipe my finger over this, it makes this popping sound. Like, you would continue using your phone this way? Especially a $1,500 phone? I don't think so. No, not at all, dudes. So I left. I called the Samsung Concierge service as soon as I got home, and that was actually a pretty pleasant process. So when I got in, I talked to them. I explained to them what's going on. I told them what happened at UBREAKIFIX, and he even told me still that, well, I mean, if they determine that the screen is the issue, they could still wind up charging you for that. I'm like, look, I'll take my chances with the warranty. I believe this is a manufacturer's defect. This is not damage I did to the screen. Clearly, not a scratch on it. There's no issues with it. This is under the screen. So he said, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and set you up. Put me on hold for about 5 minutes. He came back. By then, I had 2 emails. I had an email with the overnight UPS label, which good on you guys, Samsung Concierge. I really like that. And the other one was the instructions on what to do. So I'm going to send it in and I'm going to get it fixed. So hopefully they can tell me what's going on. I'm still going to fight for this. I do very much believe that this is a manufacturer defect issue. There's nothing wrong with the surface of the screen. And my thought process behind this whole replacement thing is, look, it's basically a plastic screen. Yes, it has the ultra thin glass UTG, but my screen is not damaged. Like, I didn't do anything to it, and I don't feel like I should have to pay to do the screen replacement. That's like a cosmetic thing. That's like, hey, I dropped it, I scratched it up, I did this to it, I damaged it. The phone has never been dropped. It's been in the case the whole time. The screen protector just got taken off recently. No scratches on it. It's clearly something underneath it, because whenever you press on the screen and you slide your finger across it, it makes that like crackly, bubbly, poppy sound. So I'm going to send it in. We'll see how this goes. I will make a follow-up video later on after I figure out what's going on. I think it's going to take them about 10 to 14 days to diagnose it, to figure out what the deal is, and let me know what's going on. So I'm hoping I don't have any continued issues with this. Hopefully this doesn't happen to your phone. I've had all the confidence in the world regarding the Z Flip for the longest time, so I haven't had any problems. I had the first Z Flip, which I actually bought used, and used that for about 4 months, and then ended up buying this one because I fell in love with the phone, and of course I really like the Mystic gray color that's on here. I think this is probably my most favorite Samsung color ever. And some people are like, look, gray is not a color. I'm like, well, yes, it is. I think so, and I think that it looks good on this phone. So my intention is to get it fixed. Hopefully I don't have to pay the $150 deductible. I believe that this is a manufacturer's warranty issue. This is not like, look, if the engine goes bad and you got to take off the intake manifold of a car to get to it, it's not my fault that you got to take off the intake manifold to get to it. I understand that it's one piece, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that this is a usage issue. This is a manufacturer defect issue arising from the use of the phone, just because, hey, whatever happened in the quality control as it was assembled, I'm not going to get into a big, deal over this. It's not the end of the world. I've got other phones that I can use in the meantime, but hey, if this were you, maybe you wouldn't have the options that I do with the phones that I have available to use. So that's it so far with the saga of the Z Flip. I really wasn't impressed with UBREAKIFIX. Those guys, that one guy really irked me. Like, how are you seriously going to tell me with my $1,500 phone that I'd just use it if I were you? I mean, it looks fine. Well, maybe that you have really low standards in how you want to use your phone, but I don't want to hear this poppy noise every time I swipe my finger over the screen. No, that's not cool. I mean, I wouldn't be acceptable. That wouldn't be acceptable to me with like a $300 phone, much less a $1,500 phone, a $1,449 plus tax. This was a really expensive phone. So I'm glad the Concierge worked as it was supposed to. I never thought I was going to have to use it. I'm glad it worked. Easy to do. I called, no problems, talked to a real person, didn't have any issues talking to them, and got it set up. He did everything for me. All I had to do was give him the IMEI. Thankfully, I bought mine directly through Samsung, so I didn't have any issues with third-party retail purchases and receipts and all that stuff. They pulled it right up off of my account, generated everything. I literally had to do nothing but just sit there, tell them what was going on, and wait for them to get back with me. So I give them 2 thumbs up on that. Great experience with Samsung and the Concierge. Terrible experience with the local contractor through the Samsung repair with UBREAKIFIX. I was very not happy. Like, I was really not happy. Anyway, so that's all I've got on this video. I'll update y'all later. I will let you know whenever I find out what's going on with this, and hopefully when I get my wonderful Z Flip 5G back. So that's all I've got, guys. If you have any questions or comments, or you're curious about the process or what's going on with the phone or anything, please let me know. Sound off in the comments. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.